August 14th, 2026. August 14th, 2026. Looking at hive number 2. Hive number 2. Let them know I'm coming. Hi, girls. Hi, girls. Just gonna give them a little note to let them know I'm coming in, and then I'll pop the lid and we'll see the number of bees on the lid. I like to look at that first. Pretty good. Let's see, 1, 2 hive beetles. Not bad. 2 hive beetles. Okay. Let's see what we got here in the super. Alright. Let's see. It doesn't look super busy, so let's look at the hive beetle cap first, which is loaded. Doing its job, I guess. Propolis is sticking to my finger so much I have a hard time letting it go. Alright. First frame in the super. Looks like they're building. Okay, looks like they have, they've built it out and they're starting to store nectar. There's 1 hive beetle right there. I don't like to leave them alive. That one just turned into 2. Alright, I'm going to let them chase that. This is a medium super. I'm going to put this down here where it's protected. This is an 8 frame hive, and that frame was in use. So it's 1. This is frame 2, which is also in use at capping honey. Capping honey. It smells amazing. Hi, ladies. There's 2 in use. Capping honey in the super, which is awesome. Got a few brood, but capped honey mostly, and nectar. A few brood, but capping honey is perfect. We want capped honey. I have had bees for several years, have not taken any honey because I've always left it for the bees. Do have still some capped brood here, but every single other space is full of nectar and honey, and some brood also here. But capped honey and nectar, when that brood hatches, I'm gonna bet they'll fill that with honey. So more brood here, but capped honey out to the side, and full of honey that's not capped yet, so has not reached the right humidity or moisture content. Got 5 in use, 6 in use. This is all honey, some capped, the rest uncapped. They're building this out and also putting nectar in it. This is building out with no nectar, well, starting to have nectar in it. And the last frame is they're just building out. So we'll say probably 9 out of, 7 out of 8, 9 out of 8. This is an 8 frame hive. And this is the super. So 7 out of 8 in the super. Pretty nice. 7 out of 8 in the super. Okay, let me get that other. Here. Yep. Alright, so I'm going to be moving this. Although it didn't look like it had a ton of bees in it, it did have, they are storing quite a bit of honey in it, so kind of took away my worries there. Alright, so I'm going to move this out of the way. Cover it so it doesn't get bothered. Come look at the brood box. Let me just smoke them a little bit. There we go. Put this hive beetle trap back over here before I forget. Alright, ladies, what we got? It's pretty light because it's scooting around easily. Alright, quite a bit of hive beetles in the trap. It's doing its job. Again, the propolis is sticking to my glove. I'm having a hard time setting down the trap. Quite a few in there. Doing its job. Alright, so let's pull this frame closest. It looks the least used. I don't like to put heavily used frames on the out to the side while I'm looking. Okay, so they're drawing out comb. It's a very heavily waxed frame. I like to really heavily wax my frame to give them a head start. Alright, ladies, so we got alright. So this is the brood box on hive number 2. Brood box, hive number 2. It's heavy, so I'm going to assume, yep, it's got nectar. Full of nectar. Nothing's capped, so no capped honey, but it is in use. That's 1. 2. Honey, nectar. I put a new Swiffer on the bottom of this hive, I think last week, and it's like it's working. They're running the hive beetles to the Swiffer. It's not full yet, so I'm not going to remove it. When it gets full, they typically try to start dragging it to the front of the hive, and I just pull it out for them. Got a little bit of brood, the rest is nectar. Okay. I'm looking for brood and larva so that I can know that my queen is here and healthy. I need to do a little research this week on when in the fall there's some brood. Again, nectar, brood, and nectar over here. I would like to see some larvae but all the spots for her to lay are filled with nectar or brood that's already capped. So I know that soon, she's not going to be worried about production as much as she is right now. Again, we have brood. There's some uncapped larvae, and there's some younger larvae as young as looks like 3-day-old. So, but there's just not a lot of space for her to lay. But again, I know sometime during this time of the year she will start laying less, because they don't need as many bees in the winter as they do in the spring. There's no food for them to get out and go get in the winter to speak of. So again, brood, nectar, open and closed. So I see larvae here, capped brood. And nectar. Hard to see in this dappled sunlight. The eggs down in there. So there may or may not have been eggs or a couple-day-old larvae. All of these are in use though. This one's in use for nectar. Okay, so not a lot of brood, but some. Enough to know that there's been a queen here in the last 4 days. I don't see any open queen caps or any sign of swarming, despite being pretty full. I think they want it pretty full for winter. My mentor is telling me that I might as well not have any supers on during winter, because they won't go to it because it's outside the ball of warmth. So they'll have enough to keep their hive going just in the brood box, so that they'll put enough in the brood box to make it through winter. That's amazing to me. So for this many bees, but we'll see. Right, girls, look out. Sliding your sister's back down to you. Alright, so that was 7 of 8. And they're starting with the 8th, so. Alright, ladies. Move over, please. Thank you. Okay, here come your sisters. Now. Trying to get as many as I can smoked down, so that when I put the super on, that it's not gonna smush a bunch of bees, a bunch of my workers. zipper scooted back on. Slide it on. Okay, just nothing down. Put the lid on.